Morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. We are here talking about money. My name is Doug Brunke. I'm the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. Our conversation today is a Globinar. It's optimizing international money transfers for your business, particularly emphasis around financial service entities. And so thank you for joining. We look forward to a timely and an informative conversation. We've got a couple speakers today, and I'd like to introduce the first one now. We are going to have about a half hour worth of content, and then we'll have about 20 to 25 minutes for your questions. Feel free in the meantime to type your contact information or your questions in the chat area. We'll be monitoring that as well. Otherwise, let's get right to it. You have reached the Globinar that is around optimizing international money transfers for your business. We are going to be talking first today with our keynote speaker, Bernardo Casal, who is the founding partner of InHedge. InHedge is just an extraordinary company. Since they've become a member, we've learned quite a bit about their focus around supporting their clients, helping them implement foreign exchange services, lower risk, and also save money, which everybody wants to do. So Bernardo, thank you so much for joining today, and we look forward to learning more about what you're offering to the market and how people can take advantage of it.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate the intro. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for taking the time. I'm gonna, present just one slide to talk a little bit more about ourselves, how we started, how we ended up on having this phone call with you guys, presenting this service, and then I'll hand it over to Kevin to have a more in-depth sort of description on the service that could be of interest to you or your company. Let me share my screen.
Looks good.
Okay, cool. So, sorry. Yeah, so basically what I wanted to do with you guys initially is to talk a little bit more on who we are, right? Because, we needed to make some sense into why there's two companies talking about the same topic at the same time, right? So the way that the partnership was built up between XC and InHedge was about 2 years ago, and I would like to go a little bit further, about 6 years ago when we started InHedge, right? I had experience. I worked almost 10 years on the hedge fund industry in the US, and I was able to learn all the key components and areas of the hedging sort of ability and possibilities using different types of instruments, hedging for equities, for commodities, for FX, for debt instruments, etc. Right? So a few years later, we decided to start providing service and knowledge to folks in the Latin America region, since we realized that there was a very tiny access to this type of information, right? We started advising clients that were focusing on the ag business, specifically on the feeder cattle. These were, people that were basically gathering all their physical product or all their cattle. It will take them probably about a month to get them together, and then as soon as they will cross the border, their price was way lower, and they will lose money on something that they were building for over a month, right? Obviously, there were solutions to that. We started that way on the ag business, and as we continued to build the business, we ended up, adding new clients to different industries. And now I'll probably say that our main footprint is on the metals and energy sector, right? Companies that are looking to, provide solutions for their risk on either the product that they're commercializing or the product that they want to hedge for their consumption. So that's how we started. That started about 6 years ago. That was the core business of our company. We never had the muscle to offer that sort of access to the financial market. So we started signing partnership agreements, IB agreements, collaboration agreements with institutions that were, very well known, top-notch kind of companies that we could potentially facilitate the access to some of the clients that we were advising. And that's how we started sort of building the base that we have at the moment, which is we have almost 7 different counterparties that we can accommodate, some depending on the risk. And as we continue to develop that business, we realized that a lot of these companies had another need, right? And that need was, I fully understand that you have access and that you know how to mitigate risk on the commodity side, but I do have a big risk as well on the FX side. So how can you help me with that? Along with that was I'm sending money from company A to company B, and this is a rate that I've been given. And some of these rates were completely out of the market, out of the range, right? And they were taking advantage of, the lack of access that some of these companies had. So about 3 years ago, we decided to start looking for the right partner in order for us to offer this kind of access, in order to provide a good fit for them and try to provide that service from a company that was well known, that was well established, and that was always looking to innovate themselves, right? That was something that was very important for us because we didn't want to go to somebody, that was not adding some real value in terms of developing new platforms, new ways of providing solutions, etc. Right? So we came across with XC, with Kevin about 2.5, almost 3 years ago, and it's been a perfect fit. We've been working very well together, and we started in 2019 with a B2B money transfer. Right, this was basically just assisting companies sending money, lowering their costs, and providing solutions on their hedging specifics. And it's been coming all the way to the development of this service that we're about to start talking to you guys about, which is the API. So the API, as the majority of the people are here on this call might know, is basically a service that could serve a lot of the financial institutions and maybe even competitors of XC's main business, right? This is something that XC, and I'm sure Kevin will talk a little bit more in depth on this, but he's trying to take advantage of the leverage that they already have, the footprint that they already have, and provide that access to some of the institutions that you guys represent. And by saying this, it's basically opening the door for something that you guys or your institutions could not provide access at the moment, right? Just to give you an example, we had a lead that didn't have access to, just to put an example, the Colombian peso, and they were looking for ways to provide that access. This was a main competitor, regional competitor for XC, and XC, it's a viable solution for them because through their API, they can provide that service and open a revenue door for their clients that a few months ago wouldn't been able to service that client and deposit that Colombian peso in Colombia. So this is something that could be extremely helpful to you guys. This is something that could be really interesting. So that would be it for me. That's sort of the intro. We've been working with XC for a while, and we're looking forward to to continue to develop this market in the LATAM region. So I don't want to take more time of you guys, and I think it will be better if we just completely focus on what Kevin has to say. I don't know if sure that Kevin has something to show us.
Okay, let's make the transition. Please go ahead, Kevin.
Thank you, Doug, and thank you, Bernardo. Good morning to everyone on the call. It's great to meet you, and looking forward to discussing a bit more about it InHedge and the XE partnership today. Just a quick introduction to myself. So I'm based in Austin, Texas. Have been in Austin now for just over 3 years, and have been with XE for close to 3 years as well myself, heading up our partnerships and digital partnerships team here in North America. And partnerships is a wide-ranging spectrum, so it works all the way from our referral partners through to our integrated and digital partnerships. So working with like-minded financial institutions or other MSPs as well, and I'll dig into that in a bit deeper through this presentation. So I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen as well. I hope everyone can now see this.
Yep, we got it.
So just a quick background into who XE are and how we've managed to get to where we are. So XE may be a familiar name to people on this call. It's often known and the popular location for individuals and businesses to visit our website and mobile application for referencing and currency information. So the XE website itself started 30 years ago and was built by two gentlemen out of Toronto, Ontario, and still exists today, receiving a huge amount of traffic to our website, but also our mobile application, which has around 80 million downloads, for people just needing to know what the mid-market rate of exchange is between two currencies. So it could be anyone traveling or a business just referencing if they're buying new stock or supplies from overseas or funding a new office. They want to know how much it's going to cost them in their base currency, and an xe.com and the XE application is generally a popular place. So XE, over the 30 years, became very popular, generated a huge amount of traffic, and eventually led to the acquisition by our existing parent company, Euronet Worldwide. And Euronet Worldwide is a publicly listed company through NASDAQ. It is a leading global payments processing company, delivering ATM solutions worldwide. Existing today has the largest ATM network in India, but also has close to 400,000 point-of-sale locations, and is available to customers in 54 countries. And that's how Euronet started, was through the ATM network, and then has grown through strategic acquisitions such as ePay, which is the middle segment here on my screen. ePay delivering digital payment services, subscription services, mobile top-ups, and digital gift cards as well. So delivering all kinds of consumer-facing products to their partners. And then lastly, the money transfer segment. So as I say, XE, one of the largest currency information sites, and our sister company Ria Money Transfer, combined make the second largest money transfer business worldwide. And they're two slightly different businesses and brands. So Ria very much focused on the consumer remittance markets, and XE very much focused on the B2B SME, so small to mid-sized markets, where we deliver foreign exchange services to them. And this is really, if I break it down into three key areas of what we deliver to our customers, both in consumer and corporate spaces. We're able to provide preferential rates of exchange on any currency conversion that a consumer or corporate might be making. So providing guidance and expertise around what the currency markets are doing, how that impacts their business, and ensuring that they are mitigating risk wherever they can on any future currency purchases. So we deliver spot and forward transactions, spot being the more traditional transaction where they need to pay a bill or payroll, or whatever it may be, on an instant basis, and we can then convert and pay out on a spot transaction. And a forward transaction delivering the rate of exchange, today's rate of exchange for a period in the future, so they effectively reduce the risk of any adverse currency fluctuations to their business and secure that rate of exchange for a agreed period of time. Of course, in our industry, we work in a heavily regulated and licensed industry. So security of both our IT, but more importantly, of our clients' funds are paramount. So we work very highly in delivering compliance, AML, and due diligence regulations, and meeting those and exceeding those. But also on the IT security front, we have IT security teams across the world and deliver mitigating measures against fraud and any other security concerns that are around today. And then lastly, so innovating. So as Bernardo touched on in his introduction, the foreign exchange and international payment industry is fast moving. Certainly from the time I started in this industry, it has completely revamped and moved away from where orders were physically taken over the phone to today everything being online and now being provided to other partners through our API technology. As I remember back in the day where we were so reliant on banks, banking, money transfer businesses, and now today you'll see that the partnerships are working in a reverse. We have technologies that banks want, but we also have payment networks that banks are and other financial institutions and money transfer providers are looking for too. So there is a lot of growth and collaboration in this market with new fintechs, neobanks, and other partners as well. And here's just a summary of what our partnerships look like. Say the partnership structure here at XE is very wide-ranging. We work from referral partnerships, referring consumer clients or business clients, all the way through to full integrations with our partners. And what they may look like is one of these five through referrals, so say introductions to XE to deliver a foreign currency cost saving to their clients, so an added value service to what they're already delivering for the partner, and that could be either just an additional value service or a revenue opportunity for that partner, through to white label solutions, so branding the XE platform to the name of our partner to deliver to their customers, but they still experience the XE customer experience through our platform, fully under our partner's brand. And then the API opportunity here. So XE has a range of APIs which enables our partners to completely control the user interface and the customer experience on their side, but leverage XE's expertise when it comes to making international payments. So generally, these may be, say, financial institutions, other fintechs that are delivering a money transfer solution to their customers, or payroll providers who are looking for the last mile of payment to connect to corridors and payment rails that they may not be able to get access to otherwise, but we still want to control the entire user experience under their brand. So we provide our APIs to them, they build that interface, and then deliver the service to them, passing through all the payment instructions through XE. And I've just covered the last ones there, a couple of examples of the industries that we work in when it comes to these integrated solutions at payroll and FIs, but there are many other types of solutions and partners that we do work with today and continue to have dialogue with as well. So part of the partner solutions, what reason they work with is our global footprint. We have offices in 8 locations. Of course, here in North America, we're based in Austin, Texas, still in Toronto, Ontario, where we still have a large office, and Los Angeles on the West Coast. But then we also have offices in London, Amsterdam, Sydney, and Auckland in New Zealand too. So we have the full global spectrum for support, customer support, the follow the sun model, meaning that a customer can always contact XE to request information on their payment or speak to somebody if needed to get advice on how to use a platform. But also for our partners, it's important for them to know that they can always access us should there be any information that they need for their customers' payments or information for the API, and have somebody to talk to at all times. We deliver payments in 139 currencies, just over 220 countries. This is significant because it reaches all four corners of the world. It gives access to our partners to currencies that they may not be able to acquire through their traditional banking methods or through other partners. So we are able to deliver the last mile to exotic countries or even your major currencies around today as well. The platform is fully available 24/7. So we've got the follow the sun support model, so they'll always have access to the XE customer service team. But fundamentally, the reason we're partnering with these partners is to deliver a money transfer solution to their end customers as a value-added service, a money saving service as well, and have built up a number of good partners over the last few years, one of which being InHedge, who we're proud to work with today, and continue to deliver a great service to their customers as well. And that's it for our presentation. Happy to take any questions around XE or InHedge.
Okay, very good. And so in terms of then how you work with each other, Bernardo, maybe you can answer this. Who are you targeting as a company? Where are they? What types of companies? And then it sounds like what you're doing is bringing this solution to the table when it's appropriate.
Yeah, that's about right, Doc. So basically, the answer is twofold, right? I guess the profile of a potential client will be a company that is using, XYZ money transfer service, and they're looking for, optimize their costs and try to lower or improve their service through a platform when some of the regional banks are not providing that access, that digital access. That's a solution that goes, client to client type of situation, right? That's a business that we've been developing with XE over the last, probably say 2.5 years, right, Kev? And on the other side, right, is the service of, providing access to the financial institutions, which is the main focus on this call, right? To focalize that service on the API side, which is basically provide access to the pipeline, to simplify it, right? Provide access to the pipeline that XE has in order to offer, better pricing and more access to different regions, exotic regions where any financial institution don't have access to, right? That's basically the focus on this goal. So the answer is those two are the key areas of our focus, trying to, put XE on the table as a leader on this specific business segment for both of those ends, and see if there's any fit for, any of the attendees of this call or somebody that you guys may think that could be interesting to develop more on their footprint for this international money transfer business.
Okay.
Yes,
go ahead.
Okay, can I ask a question? Sorry.
Hey, Mike, how are you? Good to see you.
Hey, Bernardo, Kevin, thank you very much for your presentation. I know today is an Arizona focus, but we are very focused in our region on cross-border money transfers, particularly big market to the south of us that takes trillions of dollars, et cetera. It's a big issue here. We have in Arizona created an Arizona FinTech sandbox where you, in our state, you can lift the banking regulation for 2 years and up to 17,500 users in a sandbox format. But we went beyond that and created 26 banks that are sitting around a table, and fintechs that do money transfers can come present to all 26 of those banks all at one time Some of them are looking for a proof of concept. Some of them are looking for expansion into the United States. Sounds like you're way ahead of this and may not need any of this. But for example, Karen Bodic is on the call today. Her bank is one of the 26 banks, big national, international banks that sits around the table. If you have any interest in that, Doug or Cesar could connect us and we could get you connected to the FinTech Council, which is the 26 banks part matching to do expansions into the US market with all those banks if you're interested.
Absolutely, Michael. Yeah, I'd love to explore that further and understand what the FinTech Council looks like and is made up of. So is that FinTech's based in Arizona? Sorry, maybe I lost it.
Yes, it's based in Arizona, but over 3/4 of the banks that participate are national or international, like Karen's bank, very large international bank as well. And Karen's bank is investing quite a bit in looking at fintechs and partnering with them, right, Karen? I'm sorry, Karen, I'm speaking for you, but you may want to just introduce yourself and your bank, and you're one of the many that are around this table. And we created this so that fintechs could come in, present once for 1 hour to all 26 banks, and then find matchings and go forward from there.
Well said, Mike. Yeah, I think the FinTech Council is extraordinary that they were able to put that together here. So it's a great forum. I don't sit on that council, but we can get you connected. And I just support everything that Mike said.
Thank you, Karen.
So Karen and Mike, just to follow up, just very, very quick on that. Is this like a canceling purpose, or is this more like a funding type of council where you guys, gather around and try to see the fit of the presenter and trying to see if there's any funding, angle to that presentation?
Well,
what's the main goal of that?
Yeah, I can answer that. The main goal of it was for, it has multiple purposes. In some cases, some of these technologies, the banks just want to say, I want to buy that. Do you want to talk, a purchase of your business? The second one was for the larger ones. Are you looking for an expansion into the United States, into our network? And then multiple banks could do that kind of expansion proof of concept. And the third one was for a smaller, newer fintech that wanted it. Maybe you've already proved your concept internationally, but you want to do a proof of concept in the United States so that then later you can, either to prove to the US market, look, I proved myself regulatory wise and otherwise in the United States. But then number two, now I want to take that additional proof and go to Silicon Valley and I want $40 million, more in funding for expansion. So it's for a variety of reasons, but we found that fintechs that were wanting to use our fintech regulatory sandbox, they wanted to meet all these, they needed banks for platforms, platform proof of concept or for expansion or otherwise. And we just created a vehicle where they could meet up to 30 banks all on one day for 1 hour. We've already done one. Mambu came, for example, 3 weeks ago. They're going to have another group in about 3 weeks of an additional 8 fintechs, and they're filtering for January and for March. If you want to get in that cycle, reach out to us. Doug will connect us, and we can get you connected.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike, for sharing. Does that make sense, Bernardo?
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I mean, we can schedule something, some follow up. Kevin and I will definitely be interested on trying to see if it's a good fit for us to sit down and pitch something that could be useful for some of these 26 institutions? Because my quick understanding is that there might be some huge institutions like the one that Karen represents, and there might be some regional ones that might want to expand and increase the amount of footprint that they have in some regions where they don't have access to, right?
Right. There's about, I would say there's at least 10 to 15 community banks that are either only in our region, or they're in 3 to 5 states of the United States, Midwest, Arizona, et cetera. But then there are some very large ones like Karen's Bank and others that are multinational. But I mean, you get to present to all of them all at one time.
Great. Sounds interesting.
Very good. Thanks, Mike. Mike or Karen or anybody else, do you have some questions or additional question?
I was just going to make a comment just from a treasury cash management perspective. The fact that you offer payroll there, I think will be of interest to folks that are deploying people in other countries. So Mike has the right thinking there, getting to those regional banks who don't really have a solution on that cash management front. That's a good area for you to pursue.
Yeah, absolutely, Karen. Thank you for that comment. Yeah, it's obviously growing in demand very quickly today, with people working more remotely, gig economy workers as well, being able to work anywhere around the world. So yeah, we're finding those questions come up a lot about small community banks, credit unions, identifying how they can support their customers in making payments, particularly payroll, outside of the US.
I actually, hi, hello everyone. I came in a little late, sorry about that, and I probably missed it, but I'm interested in exactly that just came up. I work with consultants in Latin America. My company is based in the US, and basically I spend a lot of money on wire transfers and using different systems, and I'm very, very interested in a solution that could make life easier from that point of view, right? Because different banks, different locations, wire transfer fees, they eat up a lot of the profits. So I'm very, very interested in what your solution is, and maybe we can connect afterwards.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Albert, yeah. Sorry, Bernardo, go ahead.
Sorry, Kev, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, Albert. We can take this offline and understand a bit more about your requirements. But you've highlighted the biggest pain points that businesses in the US come across on a daily basis. Sorry, Karen, I'm going to quickly negatively impact big banks here, but wire fees in the US from banks are quite expensive. And then you also have the foreign currency spreads as well. So our service is there to provide a cost-effective way, all within one platform, Albert, so we can certainly show you that and how it all works.
Awesome.
Doug, if I could add a comment.
Yep.
I'm a lawyer. I do a lot of international. I have a lot of clients who are wanting to open their office in Bogota or in Singapore or in the UK. And the plethora of things they're interested in is not only the ability to make those payments easily and efficiently, they're also concerned about doing it with a partner like you so that they do not incur legal presence in Colombia or legal presence in the UK. They don't want labor presence in Colombia or the UK. And by utilizing a partner, this is part of the dance that they want with a contract with me, is to utilize a good partner so that they can have those people there and utilizing the labor differential, but not incurring legal presence in those countries.
Yeah, that's right, Michael. And we partnered with a number of outsourcing companies, whether it's GEO or PEO or other payroll, HR related services that work with companies based here in the US and then handle all that so they don't have a physical location and presence in country. And we work with partners just like that whose clients then utilize XE for funding those locations for exactly the reason and use cases you've provided there.
A quick question. There's a company OnTop.ai. I don't know if you heard about it. They provide a solution to hire remote consultants and including the like the initial contracts that are regional to those consultants, but also they're providing payments. I just started to look at them. I wonder if you have any partnerships or any partnership with this company OnTop.ai.
No, I don't. It's the first time
Okay.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I never heard of that either.
Okay.
Albert, that came up earlier in Clubhouse, right? A couple hours ago. Did you
I
bring it up
mentioned
or
it.
did somebody
I
else
mentioned
bring it up?
Yeah, I mentioned it
thank you
because I'm demoing their product right now.
I appreciate it. Have you tried like a solution like the remote.com folks? Do you know Remote?
No, I tried Payoneer
Okay.
payments before.
Okay.
But it's,
We'll connect you to Remote. They
Okay.
also have a solution that's similar type of
Awesome.
of an answer. So very good. And any other questions from the audience? I like this because I don't have to ask any questions, and so just get them. Mike, you interjected some various pieces of information. Did you have any questions along the way as well? And it's okay if you don't.
Your presentation very comprehensive. Thank you. You're very far along the curve here. Great bucket of services. Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, Doug, there were a couple of questions in the chat which I just wanted to touch on quickly. From Larry around crypto and blockchain technology. So I'll answer those two separately because I think people still have this misnomer that blockchain technology is exclusive to cryptocurrency, and that is now changing. So today, crypto, no, we don't deal with cryptocurrency, but we're fully aware that that is an evolving conversation, and we'll continue to look at that. But blockchain is very interesting, and payments technology in blockchain is one which I expect will continue to become more popular in the next couple of years, and everyone in our industry will be close to that, I'd expect. So blockchain for payments rather than cryptos will be, I think, much more highlighted in the next year or so.
Okay, so what does that then mean? Is everybody implementing some sort of a blockchain over the next several years? Is that?
I don't think everyone's implementing, but I think people have started to explore that possibility, Doug, including banks and real-time payments rather than what that means. So today, the biggest pain point for customers, like everyone on this call sending money, is how long it takes to arrive in the beneficiary, and what is the quickest way to send money to reach that person or business that you're sending funds to. And I think blockchain could be the differentiator in that. I don't know what it looks like yet. I wish I did, because then I would be closer to retirement than I am now. But right, I think it will be a huge conversation in the next couple of years.
Okay, what is the time frame? Did you say the next couple of years as like a
start? I think in the next 2 years, I think there will start to be solutions. Yeah, I really do. And there are solutions probably in the market already which are being tested but are not ready to go to scale just yet. But I think in the next couple of years there will be blockchain technology for payments, traditional fiat currency payments outside of crypto.
Okay, got it. Bernardo, did you have anything to add to that?
No, that's fully Kevin answered, because obviously these are developments that are going within XC. So this is something that we discussed in terms of the crypto sort of transfer of value. And like Kevin said, I think that the focus on all these international money transfers to make it faster and more efficient. And I think he has the way more insight on what XC is focusing on.
Got it. That makes sense. Kevin, was there another question, or was it just the two-parter that Larry asked?
Yeah, there's just one more from Leighton around confirming bank details with a company. So Absolutely, Leighton. Our platform validates and verifies banking information ahead of sending funds. So we ensure that the format of the beneficiary's banking information is correct for that particular country, and can validate. And if there are any errors, we will show you those prior to you saving that recipient and making any payments to them. So yeah, we have full validation.
Okay. That answer your question, Leighton? Are you available to chat, or
Sorry, my dogs were howling in the background, which is why I didn't ask the question. But no, it's a question that I've got from a client I'm working with at the moment. I've made introductions to Plaid and their competitor, and it's just overkill for what they need right now. And it's all about international transactions. But yes, you may get the business for the transferring of the funds, but what they need is something that confirms the banking details during their onboarding process of a vendor. And I'm assuming then if you start doing that for them, and then you can say, well, we're going to transfer the money for you as well at the same or a better rate than what you're doing today, then there might be a good opportunity for you there.
Excellent. Thanks, Leighton. Yeah, we'd be happy to have a conversation with them. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Appreciate it.
Great. Didn't even hear the dogs. How did you get them so quiet?
Don't ask.
Don't. We won't even go there. In terms of any other questions, please feel free to unmic and to unmute. And Bernardo, in terms of getting back to the target market for the solutions that you're involved with, we've talked about this solution today. Could you talk more about, in this particular case, are community banks really the main target that we talked about earlier, or where do you see the biggest opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely, right. I mean, basically, it goes back to the conversation that we're having with Mike before. It all comes down to how can a regional bank be implementing a better access, better rate, and incrementing their revenue source, right? So if you can find a solution to sort of, plug and have a better reach into regions where you don't have access to and cater to a bigger audience within your region, people, on the southern part of the country sending money somewhere in LATAM that before, a partnership with XC wouldn't be able to do so. I'll probably say that the community and the regional banks are the ones that could be, finding the more benefit of this, because obviously the bigger institutions have more muscle. They've, I guess all of the pipelines that they could potentially explore have been explored, for the last few years, and it's something that might be, online at the moment. This is something for someone that wants to grow, wants to see new and different ways of, finding a solution to increase their EBITDA or revenue number, right?
Okay. Why can't a bank do it themselves? And then the kind of a related question is for companies that do a lot of payments, larger companies, does it also make sense for them to take advantage of this solution, or should they be working through their bank?
I think it's actually an interesting question, because yes, they could definitely start looking for themselves, but at the end of the day, and I'll probably hand over the microphone to Kev as well to complement this answer, but at the end of the day, the sort of the source of access that you could potentially seek, one of them could most likely be XC, right? I mean, you can find different banks, but basically XC, what it does is it funnels all the different sources of access that you could potentially try to find through different service providers, right, or access providers. So I think it could be a good source of reach. That's one, and then Kevin can probably talk a little bit more as well on the physical locations, the physical deposits within the regions of access, where people can go and pick up their cash deposited in wallets and things like that are a little bit more innovative in terms of just sending the money to a regular bank account. Kev, I don't know if you want to expand on that.
I just wanted to touch on, Doug, your question around community banks, small banks as well. They have a decision to make. Their customers need money transfer services and international payment solutions, and these banks will then make the decision of whether they have the resource and capacity to build it themselves and have the investment to go ahead and make the solution themselves, a digital online money transfer solution, or partner with someone like XE who has the technology ready to go and can get to market much quicker. And when we were having those conversations, they very much lean towards our services, as it could even be a stopgap measure until they do have the capacity to build it themselves. But they were able to go to market much quicker through working with a partner and satisfying their customers instead of having to go it alone.
Got it. Sounds good. Hey, Donahue, good to see you. You must have made a noise so we can see you. Great to see you. I'm not hearing any additional questions. Let's do this. Let's do a couple different wrap-ups here. Bernardo, you go first. We appreciate InHedge and what you're doing in the market overall. We appreciate you joining Global Chamber in this last year, and we have enjoyed introducing you to a variety of different opportunities. We love what you bring to the table. Could you just maybe do a closing remark on this topic and anything else you'd like to cover?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate everyone for taking the time. I appreciate you, Doug, Kevin, and everyone that took the time to listen to us over these last 15 minutes. I'm sure that there's areas where we can continue to explore that were discussed on this call. Happy to help, and that will be it from me. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Could you just talk to InHedge where you're located and what service area? Where do you take clients from?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are located in Mexico. We have clients. It varies from service to service. On the commodity side, the advising and hedging for commodities, we are helping clients in the U.S., Mexico, and South America. That's the regions that we've been focusing in over the last 6 years. And then on the money transfer business, we've been trying to assist this sales effort with XE on the south of the border, right? We've been focusing on the LATAM business. And over the last few months, we've been focusing on the southern part of the U.S. as well, trying to assist regional banks looking to help, Hispanic customer base, right? So that's sort of the areas that we've been assisting. Okay.
So it sounds like in addition to this application, you have other solutions that you provide.
Absolutely. Yes.
Doug, if I could.
Yeah, Mike.
In our region, but covering the entire United States, we have two CDFIs here, which are Raza Development Bank and Raza Development, and then also Chicanos por la Causa, both of which are very close to Doug, and he knows them. Both of them have budgets of over 400 million. They're very interested as quasi-banking institutions in cross-border transfers of monies at low transaction rates, and they have both been exploring in recent years how they can facilitate cross-border transactions. They may be a good referral for you through Doug. And I'm a lawyer. Yo radicaba en la Ciudad de México 10 años en Interlomas, y ahí era mi casa por muchos años. Entonces trabajaba en 3 despachos ahí.
Wow.
I would love to work with you if you have cross-border needs in the U.S. That's a lot of my practice. That's why I'm on here.
Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate your insight. And yeah, it would be awesome if we can look, at the end of the day, we're trying to save money to corporates, right? That's the main goal. So if we can provide any service and improve either their sequence of operation or save them money, that will be a win-win situation, I guess, right? So I really appreciate your input, and hopefully we can follow up with a lot of these ideas that you guys have brought to the table, and we'll be more than eager to connect with the council or this two areas of groups that you think could be interested on this service as well. I'm more than happy to connect with them as well.
Yeah, Mike, you're amazing. Thank you, Bernardo. Kevin West with XE. XE became a member of Global Chamber at a time when we were not famous. And we're probably not famous yet, but we're getting there, especially because of great people like Mike Patterson, who can't stop talking about at least our intent to always serve our members in grand and glorious ways to increase their success. And there are several of those members on this call, including Donahue, who I called out, sorry, and of course, Karen at Bank of America, who we love and cherish, all that she does and all that the bank does. Kevin, could you make a comment also in terms of closing? Anything else you'd like to say?
Just to echo Bernardo's comments of thank you for everyone to join. As Doug mentioned, we joined the Global Chamber a couple of years ago, and really enjoyed the conversations, especially through the tough times that everyone went through in the last 18 months. And Doug and Cesar's commitment and motivation to keep these sessions going on was excellent, and one which we really enjoyed. I hope everyone's learned something today and has something to take away. We'd love to continue conversations with Leighton and Mike and everyone else on here, and help anyone, whether we directly or with any clients you have. We're always open to conversations and answering any questions.
Fantastic. Oscar and Ruby, thank you for joining us today. And Larry, thank you for joining and for your question as well. We learned Bernardo has a brother, Gerardo. So thank you so much. And Donahue and Karen, thank you as well for joining. That's the end of our program. Please, if you have any additional questions or you have trouble connecting with anyone and somehow miss each other, certainly send an email to info@globalchamber.org, and that will get you connected, and we'll find a way to make it happen. Mike, thank you for bringing up those really great points and really good thoughts, and really appreciate it as always. We will likely have this program recorded in a blog post. I'm not sure. It likely could or would. But either way, definitely stay in touch with Global Chamber. We have over 600 events a year now. And so we are a busy group of folks. As members, you don't need to attend all the events. In fact, that would probably not be good for your health or for your business. But there could be one or two, or maybe a few more, that we encourage you to come to. And certainly as members, we encourage you to be engaged from time to time. So like, for instance, tomorrow we have our League of Extraordinaries event. We do that now twice a month. And so jumping into that, even if it's every few months, it keeps you in mind. One of the things that we do now, we started this a few months ago, was every time we go through that event, everybody that talks, I end up getting like a transcript of some of the summary of what they said and who they're looking for. And then between Cesar and I and the rest of the team, we pick out and make warm introductions to every single person that's in the call. And that's kind of fine tuning our capabilities, because that's really, at the end of the day, yeah, we do 600 plus events, but we're not an event organization. We're all about getting members to be connected to clients around the world in effective and productive ways. And fortunately, now using artificial intelligence, getting smarter and better. Leighton left the room, but Leighton and CreditSafe's database is extraordinary, and they've been also very helpful and very supportive. CreditSafe, like Mike Patterson, were one of the first dozen members of Global Chamber way back 6+ years ago. So appreciate all of you that have been so loyal, and we're going to continue to do our best to continue to expand our services. So jump in from once in a while, and let's do some really good follow-ups from this meeting so that we get some business out of it, okay? Have a great rest of your Friday and a great weekend as well. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.